Let's go. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Hey now, I've been saying this for a long time. I'm running through the forest that isn't there. And I tell you now as I copy this link and put in this thing over here, I do something very simple. I take a picture like this, or maybe even like this, and then I do this, and then I put a link here. I copy that URL and I customize that text to say something like, this is an episode of Free Refill and it's number 16. Oh my gosh, what is that font that looks so bizarre? That looks a lot better. Oh my gosh, shoot, I just realized I did all this on my own page instead of the actual account. Gonna have to redo it. Oh my god, this is a nightmare. What is happening to me? I am losing my mind. People don't understand what is happening at this time of night. No wonder it looked that way. I don't know why it is the way it is. People always ask me why things are the way they are. And I say to them, they got no choice because that's how it works. I tell you now, honey, they don't want to know where I've been. They don't want to know what I'm doing because at the end of the line, they hate me. They don't get it until I do. I was singing that way because I have a cold. Not because I'm a bad singer, guys, okay? Anyway, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is week number 9 of the NFL. It has been a long week for myself. I have been sick the last couple of days. I've been a little better. I was wondering if I was going to be able to do this Thursday night one. I was thinking about it, and I was like, oh, I shouldn't. It's sick. But you know what? I already made the stuff anyway, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it anyway. We're already almost halfway through the season. This is actually the official halfway mark. We got Thursday Night Football tonight between the Ravens and the Miami Dolphins. Why is my 9th grade? We got the Ravens and the Dolphins playing on Thursday night. Nothing like a classic Dolphins beatdown that probably should happen, but maybe not. Maybe Miami has a few tricks up their sleeve. We'll see. It's another week in the NFL. I'm happy for it. Dan Quinn takes up our box of shame, as Jay has commented that he looks like his 9th grade shop teacher. Honestly, he does look like a wood shop teacher, like a wood shop, or maybe like some sort of maybe he had like a tech design teacher or something. This is definitely that guy. Dan Quinn could also be like a guy who works in an auto body shop, but he's clearly not the owner. Like, he's like first week here, still learning the ropes kind of vibes to him. But that's where he's at now. And my goodness, what do we was? Aiden Hutchinson we saw got paid. That's a big one. The NBA is still going on.
Don't really want to talk about it because Phoenix hasn't won a game since the beginning of the season, but we press forward. We press on, and we find out how to get it done. I might not go so long. I might try to do this quicker than I normally do because the last couple days, ever since coming back from Pittsburgh, this happens every time I go anywhere. My body decides, yeah, your immune system sucks, and you're going to get someone's cooties, and you're going to be knocked out of commission for a day and a half, and you're just going to have to suck it up. And that I have. That I have sucked it up. That I am here. I still got things to say about this week, and that is what it could be the Pelicans. We could beat the Pelicans. I definitely could see that, but I don't know, man. Zion's in shape now. It's we came so close to beating Memphis too, and it is what it is. Right now, we're not even in the heaviness of basketball season yet. Although I gotta say, in talks of the NBA, before we even get started on this, I want to say it has been a very impressive showing, a good start to the NBA season, just from every player involved. Like, everybody seems to be dropping big games. Like, who was number 12 for the Lakers that had, like, 27 points? Hold on. Hang on. Jake LaRavia. He had, like, what? What'd he do? Didn't he ball out recently? I saw like a meme or something that he had like a 27-point game, and I was like, the Timberwolves like, who's number 20? Who's number 12, man? It's the GOAT. It's clearly Jake LaRavia, man. The guy's insane. That being said, it's been a good start to the NBA season for most. Let's actually look at the. Anyone still undefeated? I'm just curious. Yeah, Bulls being 4-0 is nuts. Bulls and 76ers at 4-0 to me is kind of funny just to look at, right? Nets being 0-5 is kind of predictable. Pacers without their superstar, probably starting slow. That just kind of sucks for them. Ugh. And then the West. Thunder and Spurs are undefeated. Yep, and Phoenix is right down there. At least we have a win. We could maybe beat the Pelicans, so, we'll see. We'll see where things go on. What are the games tonight? Ooh, Spurs Heat's going to be a good one, I think. I think that one's got to be a banger. Thunder and the Wizards. Oh, Magic are up 16-9 on the Hornets. What do you know? And the Bucks and the Warriors. That is just old man ball right there. Actually, there's a chance we beat the Jazz tomorrow. Like, I don't. There's a real chance we beat Utah, even though we lost last time. Last time it was close in overtime, so I don't know. There's a chance we'll beat Utah in our second game. Bradley Beal, how you doing, man? And he said, hey, Phil, you sound like you need some NyQuil and some good rest. Hope all is well, buddy. Yeah, Bradley, I could use some NyQuil. I really could. That's probably what I'm going to do. But also I want to watch. Listen, I'm addicted to the grind. I'm addicted to the game. So I'm probably not going to do that. I might take some NyQuil like the second the game is over. But after that, I just can't. I can't do that. Well, actually, probably after I make. Because I haven't posted in a while on the Instagram, so I have to make something to post, and then hopefully I'm able to make it. Apologies for not being able to be here Tuesday. We had a family, Taff and I had a family incident come up, and we're just kind of keeping it close to the vest right now. So we had a family member pass, so that was kind of why we weren't there Tuesday, and we're just kind of just working through that now. So I appreciate you guys being understanding of that. And we just wish our thoughts and prayers to his family as well. That'd be greatly appreciated. So that's what's going on there. In the meantime, I gotta talk about these games, man, because I need to get some sports knowledge off of my chest and into the realm. First off, I want to talk Monday Night Football that just happened between the Commanders and the Chiefs. I can't really the fall off of the Commanders has been really wild to me. It's been Jay, condolences. I appreciate it, Jay. I appreciate that. Thank you, man. The fall off of the Commanders going in against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now I knew the Kansas City Chiefs would come back and be able to play at a certain level and be able to basically now have the deepest wide receiver core when you look at guys like Worthy and Rashee Rice, and then you have Hollywood Brown and Juju kind of playing similar, like, complementary roles. and Travis Kelce not being asked to, I guess, have the workload in the receiving game, Kansas City just figures it out. It took them 2 months, and this game for them against the Bills is coming up is going to be huge for them. We're going to see what they look like. The difference between week 1 and now is worlds apart for Kansas City. As for the Commanders, man, Dan Quinn, you're done. This is over. I don't think this team makes the playoffs at this point. I think they're too old. I think Jaden Daniels not being healthy doesn't help. They haven't had McLaurin healthy. They haven't had Debo healthy. And a team of veterans is good, but when you have older guys that just can't stay healthy. And another thing, this running game was supposed to be really kind of underrated with Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt in the action. They felt so confident in him that they were willing to trade Brian Robinson. That move doesn't really make sense now in hindsight because their running game is incredibly inconsistent. So, I don't know. It feels like the Commanders are in a really bad spot when you consider that Dallas's offense is chugging along. And when you look at their wins this year, it just doesn't feel very impressive. It doesn't feel like an impressive football team. I think at this point, I think Philadelphia, for the first time in 20 years, the NFC East is finally going to have a back-to-back winner just because I don't think anybody can compete. Philadelphia would need to have a gargantuan Herculean collapse for that to be the case, and I just don't think that's possible. But that is where we are with the Commanders, and I got little else to say there. Jaden Daniels needs to be healthy for this team to win. I think he's having not necessarily a sophomore slump, but just not... It doesn't feel nearly as explosive as it did last year. It just ain't working. Whatever was working before isn't working. Since you're on the Chiefs, Hunter Tracy Jr. fantasy-wise, if Pacheco's out. If Pacheco is out, I kind of like Tracy. I try to get him back on the roster because I had him and Scadaboo at the start of the year. Because I had them both. I didn't know who was going to win, so whoever won the starting job, I was basically going to start. Scadaboo won it, so I ended up cutting Tracy, and then I wasn't able to get Tracy back, which kind of sucks. But I will say, who did the Chiefs play? The Bills. Kareem Hunt always feels like he's going to score a touchdown against the Bills, but I don't. I like Tracy in this one because I think they need to attack San Francisco where they're weak. They're losing 2 of their best defensive players. They need to get the run game going. Houston was able to get some of the run game going in San Francisco last week, and part of the reason why the 49ers never really held on to the ball. They just didn't have time possession. I think Tyron Tracy's the better start, at least on paper. I would roll Tyron Tracy. That would be my guess. I'm starting like Malik Washington tonight for Miami because Emeka Egbuka's on bye. I'd actually traded away Scadaboo right before his injury and got Egbuka, and then Egbuka's not playing in the, in the second game I need him. So, excuse me. All right. Let's get to the board. We know what board we're looking at. Here it is. We all see it. We all see the board. We got the headliner, what the game of the week's going to be, some of the great matchups we'll see. Games I think are probably going to be worth it. Then we have a game, maybe underrated matchups will probably go in this one. We'll see if that ends up being plural or not. Then we got some mid-offs, some tough watches, and then the absolute booty bowl. And then following that will be teams that are on break. I got White from the Bucks, but he isn't going to be what he was with Bucky back. I don't think so either. I mean, you could probably get away with Rashad for one more game, but Bucks are on bye. Actually, that's a good point. I think Tampa's on bye, right? Because I know Egbuka's not playing. So, yeah, Egbuka being on bye, that's going to be a little bit of a different story there. With once he comes back, it's not really worth. That's why I know some people were trying to trade Rashad at one point. Just try to get somebody else, but if Bucky comes back and he's going to be a much bigger part of that offense, you might be able to get away with it for one more week just because when a running back comes back, they're probably going to give them limited touches just to try to get them back up to speed in the offense. So you might be able to get away with it for like a week or two, but a week, 2 or max, right? But, we'll see where that ends up going. Other teams are on bye. The New York Jets, after getting their first win, unfortunately, they cannot carry that momentum forward as they are on the bye week. Cleveland is also on bye this week, and there's one other one because Eagles are also on bye. Eagles are not playing this week. Because I saw that like Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith were on bye, so that means the Eagles are on bye. Those 4 teams are not playing this week. Thank goodness Cleveland and New York are. Let's just say that those teams are normally messes. So they get to outside of that though, we got 28 other teams playing, 14 action-packed games. Let's start with the Miami Dolphins and the Baltimore Ravens. I'm in 2 categories of how I think this game is gonna go. Based on what I saw from Tua against Atlanta, you would think Tua maybe one-eyed Tua is just the way to go. Tua needs to start wearing an eye patch. Maybe even start playing for the Bucs. Because with an eye patch, eye patch should be a little bit of a pirate. I see this game going either Miami wins a close one or Baltimore absolutely blows them out. So it's either going to be tough to watch or could be underrated. Because Lamar's going to be back. Lamar should be playing, I believe. Let me ensure that Lamar is on the lineup. Lamar Jackson injury. He should be playing, right? He's playing, right? Not what is. I wanted to know if he's going to be active for Thursday Night Football. Well, his first action back since playing against Kansas City Chiefs. Hurt his hamstring. I think it was also very critical for Baltimore to get that win against Chicago, because if they didn't, I feel like if they didn't beat Chicago, that would have been really rough. It would have been huge for Chicago, but I think it would have been really rough for Baltimore to then have to basically play Miami on a short week and win with Lamar's first game back in. I'm going to say what I think, and I think Baltimore's going to go in and kind of kick the pants off the Miami Dolphins. So I'm going to say this is going to be a tough one to watch. I don't think it's a complete booty bowl. It could be a booty bowl. We'll see if we rank it there based on what else happens, but with Lamar getting back, there will be some exciting plays. And if Tua can play at least a little bit the way he played against Atlanta, that should be like a little bit more comforting, right? Just a little bit. Like, come on, if you're a Dolphins fan, don't you kind of want him to play just a little bit better than he had previously? It also still stuns me that Tua is, in fact, the 5th best quarterback from his draft class, and Miami could have had 3 of those 4 other quarterbacks. Like, it astounds me to this day. And again, even going back to that draft, like, it was consensus Tua was probably going to be one of the second quarterback off the board for the most part, but gosh, if you're a Dolphins fan, you gotta feel like that's going to be just not great. Not a great one there. Tough, so to speak, but it is what it is. In that game, though, tonight, I think Baltimore is going to win it. I think they'll win by a couple scores. I think Miami will definitely put up points, mostly because I need them to, because Malik Washington needs to get in the end zone, so let's do that. Outside of that, I don't really care. I right now, though, yeah, I like the Ravens just kind of going in and blowing them out and winning 2 in a row for the first time of the year, getting back on track. It just kind of makes sense that they would. Because, I mean, it still feels weird to say, like, Baltimore, like, is, 2-5 at this point in the year? It feels like they should be better. We'll see what they keep doing moving forward. But I got the Ravens tonight. 1 o'clock game. I believe we got one. Let's go. Huh. Who do the Saints play? Oh, Saints play Rams, right? Is that at LA? I wonder if that's at LA or not. I want to say it is, because I'm just going to look it up. I do not. This is like one of the first weeks where I really don't have the matchups memorized. It has been a chaotic and hectic week. Yeah, they're at LA. Oh, Tua, what's up, Tua? How we doing, man? In the locker room, cheesing, knowing the Ravens will fire the head coach, not Jim Harbaugh, after I throw these 3 tutties. Do you think that I don't think they would fire John Harbaugh in this season, as crazy as it is, Tua? Respectfully. What are you doing up on the show already, man? You got a game in 45 minutes. You better be getting warmed up. Come on, man. Put that eye patch on and get to work. The New Orleans Saints. Let's start there because that's the first logo I see. The Saints. They are playing the Rams. This one's going to be a tough one to watch. The Saints are that bad. I mean, last week, Baker didn't even play particularly well. Like, the Bucs offense didn't play well. Rattler has been benched. This will be Shao's first start. That will be interesting. But against LA and that pass rush off a bye, that pass rush has been really good with guys like Byron Young and Jared Verse and Braden Fisk in the middle who's been underrated. Like, they're going to have trouble. We'll see if Puka Nacua is ready to go this week and play for the Rams. Even if he isn't, this team just put up 35 points on Jacksonville across the country. Then they come home. They get to play a really bad Saints team that's starting a rookie quarterback in his first start. This has blowout written all over it. This is just going to be the Rams cooking. This is going to be the Rams absolutely dominating. No, they benched the Rat. Say it ain't so. It is so. The Rat King has what did they call it? What do they call that thing? Is that what they call it, a Rat King? I remember we had talked about this on here, I thought. It may not have been here, it may have been somewhere else. I don't know. I'm like mixing up moments in my life, but like when the rats all tie their tails together and they form just one giant rat army, it's a Rat King, right? Or is it something else? I don't remember, but that's, yeah, they regardless, Spencer Rattler has been benched. Shao will get the start. We'll see how good his connection is with Olave. That's pretty much the only thing that's only the real relevant thing is what's his connection like with Olave, because you're looking out if you're you're obviously a fantasy guy. This I think is a blowout. I think it's just an LA Rams. Should be a free win. If the Saints win this game, I'll be shocked. If the Saints keep it close, I'll be shocked. This team has been nightmarishly bad. Yeah, when the rats are tangled up, Rat King. Oh yeah, Ninja Turtles villain. I forgot about that. They got the little Rat King. Oh, I'm trying to remember what he looked. Hold on, what did he? Let me bring up. Let me see what we're looking like in terms of it. Oh yeah, this guy. Hold on, it's not gonna show it, but oh, let me see if I. Yeah, the Rat King. Look at this. Look at this dude. This dude right here. This is a Rat King. You can get a load of this guy. Oh, what a joy. What a joy, Mr. Rat King. Thank you for blessing us, baby. Regardless, Rattler was benched. I didn't think it was gonna last particularly long. At some point, everyone knew Spencer Rattler was not the future for New Orleans. Maybe Shao is. I kind of doubt that too. But getting the rookie in, it'll at least, Saints fans might be able to see a slightly better quarterback, or at least have something to be a little bit more excited about than Rattler, because if Rattler was my future, I'd have an issue. Rams probably beat him in a blowout. 49ers, Giants. I don't think it's underrated. I kind of actually think it's just worth the watch. I don't really think it's an underrated matchup. Kind of looks like Andy Dalton in that third pick. Andy Dalton's jawline is not that chiseled. You are giving him way too much credit, Jay. You are giving Andy Dalton... Hold on, let me pull up another one. Yeah, like, bro, come on. Okay, and that one actually, never mind. Never mind. I take it all back. Usually I never... He's got a jawline now. Since when? Since when did... Look at that. Look at that. That's him. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this real quick and just show you. Hold on. So let me get... Yeah. Hold on. That's one. So we got this guy who is very clear. And then we have Andy. You know what, Jay? That's pretty accurate. He's only this is him shaved. He's shaved in this picture. So he's got the beard, it's all gone, and then you got here he's got the beard. Andy Dalton's Rat King. We figured it out. Oh my gosh. See, because I was thinking, man, even in his Bengal days, I don't remember this guy having a chin. Why do I not remember Andy Dalton having a chin? Wait, maybe it's because I've always seen this picture and it doesn't like, it kind of looks a little bit thumb-like here. But man, that's jawline. That's a jawline, all right. Andy looks good there. Man, that's crazy. They fixed him. They fixed my boy. That's wild. They got him on that. They got him on that. Well, we're gonna add that to Pro Football Reference as a name, as a nickname. We're gonna call Rat King, and it's gonna be Andy Dalton. Anyway, Giants 49ers. A couple things for this game. Number one, Christian McCaffrey, play better than you did last week. I won all my matchups for the first time all year this week, so it didn't matter. But I got you in 2 leagues. You got to play better than what you did against Houston. That's just the reality. Okay, that's step 1. Step 2, New York Giants fans. Are you okay? Because my gosh, that was brutal. To watch another, really one of your cornerstones. I think Seattle was going to be a franchise cornerstone for years. To see another one go down before even the mid-season mark. You see Neighbors go down. You see Scadaboo go down. Just a brutal start. At least still have Jackson Dart, but honestly, it's a tough watch. I don't know who I want in this game. I would like to see the Giants pull the upset. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm going to pick them to win by like a hair. But I kind of could see the Giants. It really depends. Is Mac Jones still going? Because we've seen Mac Jones, and he had his Thursday Night Football moment, which is what it was, right? He had his Thursday Night Football moment. Now, since then, he's been kind of mediocre. He hasn't been incredible. We still don't know the status of Brock Purdy, as I'm trying to find out right now what his status is. It says remains limited as of 1 hour ago. I don't know. This is just, again, isn't it like odd that the Niners, after last year with CMC, now have Brock Purdy on another lingering injury that just for some reason won't go away? Like, there's no clear, like, information on what it even is. What is his timetable to come back? We just don't know. Like, it's so odd to me. Jay, call Travis Hunter. He needs to know. I will. I'll let Travis know. Jay also said, I'll be honest, if it was inevitable considering how he played, I was expecting Tua-like concussion. Yeah, that's true. But, I mean, it wasn't like a head injury. Like, it wasn't in his ankle. It was like a dislocated ankle or something. Or like a dislocated or broken ankle. So it wasn't like a concussion. So he's still, I mean, he's still a crayon eater. But the good news is, you know, hopefully he can come back. I hope he can come back and be able to run at the same level. But I just was hoping it was a little longer than this, you know. I didn't want to see Scadaboo, you know, the white man duo. Like, come on, we need to see more Scadaboo and Dart doing their thing. Little white boys, little frat boys. It feels like a tough, really lost cause situation for New York, and I don't think they're gonna just kick the bucket and say, "Oh, this is it." You know, they're still gonna fight. They're still gonna play hard in games. Jackson Dart's got a competitive nature to him, but this was a tough one. I think this was a tough to lose in Philly, and then especially when you think about all like the bad calls that were made in that game in general. Oh, just not what you want to see happen. I have the Giants surprisingly beating San Francisco, though. I don't think San Francisco feels that strong right now, especially with the injuries that they've had, with Brock Purdy not being unavailable, I feel like a major reliance on Christian McCaffrey to have consistent offense. I like the New York Giants. I think McCaffrey will have a better game, but I'd be careful. The Giants defense has some pass rushers that are very legit, so I'm going to take the Giants in an upset, in I guess a technical upset. I think the 49ers are favored. But I like the Giants in this one to get a win at home. I mean, they're at home, right? And San Fran has to go across country. San Fran's only favored by -2.5. I think it's reasonable. I could see the Giants winning this one. And it'll be worth the watch. It won't be. I can't bonafide it and be like, you know, oh, it's going to be this amazing matchup. But I think the Giants can get the win. Now, off of that, let's go to a 4:00 game. This is going to sound shocking. But I think this is the Booty Bowl for one major reason. Jaguars and Raiders, I think, is going to be a Booty Bowl. The Booty Bowl of the week. Because these offenses suck. I mean, how bad Like, if you think, like, I liked Liam Cohen. They were my sneaky pick to win the division. I don't think that's going to happen now with the way the Colts are just screaming through the entirety of the league. But you were brought in as an offensive head coach, and now we're having discussions about trading Brian Thomas Jr., your first-round pick from last year. Why? That doesn't make sense. Like, you came in as an offensive head coach, Liam Cohen. Ain't no way Brian Thomas Jr. should be even mentioned in trade discussions. And as for the Raiders, it's still Geno Smith. So, I know what their offense is going to look like. This could be like a 6-3 ball game. That's what it's got the vibe up to me. Like a 6-3 or a 10-6 ball game of sloppy offense in Vegas. I understand that the Jaguars are coming off a bye. I believe Raiders off a bye too. I don't think we saw them last week. But it doesn't matter. These two franchises are poopy buns. They can never seem to figure it out. They got so many issues. I can't not see it. And that's what this is. I would say personally, this is going to be the Booty Bowl of the week. Just not enough offense to sustain this game and make it anything other than bad. That's my take. Defense has played well for Jacksonville. Relatively okay defense for the Raiders. Like, I don't think it's been great. But if we're talking these two, I cannot physically put Jacksonville into, like, I just can't. I can't do that. I cannot do that. And I'm not gonna do that. These two offenses haven't figured out anything. They were supposed to be two of the more entertaining offenses this year. The only thing I can say, Brock Bowers should be back. Please do well, Brock Bowers. That's all I have. All right. Booty Bowl is out of the way. Actually, you know what? The Booty Bowl needs hold on. The Booty Bowl needs something real quick. Let me make sure I just emphasize. Let me make sure I emphasize how bad the Booty Bowl is with a little bit of that. With a little bit of that. I just realized why I couldn't hear it. I was like, dang, why can't I hear it? It's like, oh yeah, because my headphones are dead. They've been dead for like 25 minutes. If there was ever any sound in here at any point, I did not hear it. Oops. Let's try that again. Testing. It works. Perfect. All right. Back to what we were doing. Moving off of the Booty Bowl, which I think I will still watch. Like, obviously, I'm going to watch the Booty Bowl. But I'm upset how much of the late window it takes up. I'm going to jump over to Monday Night Football between the Arizona Cardinals and the Dallas Cowboys. Honestly, I think this is underrated. It's Monday Night Football, so maybe I'm a little biased there. But Kyler Murray should be back. I don't even know if he's necessarily better for the Cardinals offense, but Kyler Murray should be playing. Dak and the Cowboys offense is legitimate. It'll be fun to watch the Dallas Cowboys offense be good. And maybe Kyler Murray's got some stuff figured out. Maybe they get the ball more to Marvin Harrison Jr. Maybe they actually have like any semblance of a real game plan, because Arizona's got to start making up for lost ground if they want to have any chance this year. I mean, not that they have much of a chance, right? But Arizona is... Does Arizona only have 2 wins? That's sad. Arizona is... 2-5. Arizona's 2-5 in a competitive division. You want to have any shot of salvaging this season, this is a game you kind of just have to win. If you lose this game, then I think the reality is, okay, we're done. We're done with Kyler Murray. We're done with Coach Gannon. You bring in a whole new regime. That's my opinion. I know it might be controversial, but the reality is there are 3 teams in this division that scale you tremendously. You are 4th in place in head coach. I think you're 4th place in quarterback situation. I think you're 4th place in talent on your roster. Like, you are by all metrics the worst team in your division. That's what it is. I don't know. I would rather be You'd rather be water tortured than watching an Arizona Cardinals game. Well, I mean, at the very least, you can watch Pickens and CeeDee Lamb tear them up. But I think if this is... I wouldn't doubt it if after a 2-0 start, they lose 6 in a row. Or was it a 2-0 start? It had to have been. No, it was. It was a 2-0 start because they could have gone 3-0 against San Francisco and lost. if they lose 6 games in a row and they've completely had lost any chance to compete in the division, if they lose to Dallas in an embarrassing way, I think Gannon needs to go. I just, defensive coaches are not really working in this league right now. They've played hard, and that's fine, but like the loss to Tennessee especially still sticks in a lot of people's minds right now. That's the only Titans win of the year. And let's be honest, if you're Arizona, look at your division. All those teams are clearly better than you in every category. And you're not... Kyler Murray is, I think, peaked. Jonathan Gannon has not really showed why he's a great head coach necessarily. I mean, you may have to trade other pieces too. Like this, and this is just like, who's the real talented player that everyone's excited for? It was Marvin Harrison Jr. Now the enthusiasm after 20 or so games has kind of died down because the receivers from his draft class look better than him. Your running back situation, James Conner gets hurt, and then all of a sudden you realize without James Conner, you actually don't have as much depth there as you thought. Like, you had to cut Michael Carter, and you have Bam Knight and DeMercado. Like, it's not a great backfield. Trey McBride is probably your best player. That's like the only guy. Like, legit, Trey McBride is their best player. They don't got any but like Trey McBride and Budda Baker. Trey McBride on offense, Budda Baker on defense. Outside of that, this team is thin. It's thin in a lot of different positions. I like the rookie Will Johnson. He's played well in coverage for the most part. But dude, this team's not going anywhere. And this division is not going anywhere. All 3 of those coaches, like Mike McDonald last year, had double-digit wins. Kyle Shanahan's been to multiple Super Bowls. Sean McVay has a Super Bowl win. Like, you're clearly outclassed in your own division. I think it could be underrated. Maybe Kyler Murray in the offense shows up. That's what I'm kind of hoping for. But I got to be honest, this just doesn't, moving forward long term, I think the Arizona Cardinals are cooked. Like, if they lose this game, there should be serious conversations about how do we start moving off Murray, and when do we fire Jonathan Gannon? I think those should be the questions that Arizona should be asking themselves. Panthers, Packers. I'm gonna go to the next one. I'm just going to the next one. I have the Cowboys, by the way. I think Dallas will send them to 2-6 because Dallas is gonna be at home, and I don't care that Arizona's coming off a bye week. You know, I don't. I think they'll put up offensive points, but I just still don't, because Dallas' secondary is terrible, but I have Dallas staying roughly in the 500 ballpark range, getting that win. Oh, man. Is it Panthers at Packers? Yeah, that one's going to be a tough one to watch. Do we know if Bryce Young is playing? Actually, does that matter? I always ask, is Bryce Young playing? And then I immediately realize, I hate ads. Well, that we all knew. I originally realized, oh yeah, does it really matter? Because I don't know what to make of him. Yeah, see, like, this is what I'm talking about. Bryce Young injury update doesn't impact Panthers versus Packers odds for NFL Week 9. You would think it would. Like, if your quarterback was good or your team was good enough, like, it would impact it a little bit. No. Odds stay dead even. That's how you know, like, an addition is just whatever. It's either the addition isn't that great or the team is so bad that the addition doesn't actually make a difference. That's Bryce Young. Are the Panthers really just that bad? Or is just Bryce Young not good enough as a number 1 overall pick? It's probably both. But going up against Green Bay, who had an amazing second half against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Tucker Kraft, who's been a beast, Jordan Love, who had his best game of the year, now they come home and play Carolina without their starting quarterback. Not that it matters too much again, but whether it's Andy Dalton or it's Bryce Young, Green Bay is trying to shape themselves into Super Bowl contenders. This should be an easy win for them at home. Just unquestionably. The one thing that's interesting, by the way, and I had talked about this like last week or something, Rico Dowdle has now really started to transition into being the number 1 back as opposed to Chuba Hubbard in Carolina, which is fascinating. So those big games, man, have changed Carolina's minds, at least, about who the number 1 running back is. And right now it looks like Dowdle, but I don't think it really matters. I think this game is Micah Parsons going to feast. This is just not a good one for the Carolina Panthers right now. It's just not. They are not in a good position right now. And I mean, yeah, it's like, oh man, dude, they have 4 wins, like, cool, and like it's showing progress, but it doesn't feel very real, you know? Like, at a certain point you can kind of tell, This ain't legit. This is fool's gold. So, darn shame, but it is what it is. Like, you just can't. You can't ask. You can't ask for those kind of things. You know, you have to be in a position where, you know, you can do better than that. That's the issue. That's the issue I see with that. It's Carolina is just a mess. And it doesn't really typically work for them. Chargers, Titans. Man, oh man, Chargers, Titans. Gosh, that one's brutal too. Is it all gonna be blowouts this week? Chargers or Titans? Like, Titans are, for all intents and purposes, I mean, at least with the Saints and the Jets, they have like a win as well. Titans don't have their head coach. And of all the wins, it really feels like Tennessee did not earn their win. You know what I mean? Like, it felt like Arizona gift wrapped it, handed it in a little bow, and then sent out like a little elf dude to bring it in on a wheelbarrow and plant it firmly in the Titans' hands and like duct taped it to their hands to make sure there was no way they could not like lose that game. That's what it feels like. And this is the Chargers. Chargers are still trying to make a playoff push. Herbert's very good. They're gonna Gadsden, by the way. Is it Olamide Gadsden? Is Olamide his first name? I'm not sure. But Gadsden, the tight end, looks legit, right? The Chargers are going to absolutely swamp the Titans. That's all. It's no other. Like, there's not even like a positive thing to say. Like, I have the only reason, like, right now, I currently have Tony Pollard in my starting lineup, literally only because Breece Hall's on bye week. I would much rather be starting Breece Hall this week, but I'm not, because I can't. Oops. My bad. Just like, gosh, man. Oh, it's brutal stuff. It's brutal stuff seeing a Titans player. Forget just Pollard. A Titans player in your starting lineup. It's just a mess. It's a nightmare. Nobody wants to see it. That's how bad the Tennessee Titans are. If you're of a team where literally not a single player is worth even arguing to have in the starting lineup in fantasy, yeesh. It's a problem. Feel for Cam Ward. I agree, man. It's a bad roster. And again, I think I've said this before, but why did they fire Rephil? I know he didn't like make the playoffs in a couple years, but like, he got you the closest. He's gotten you to a 1 seed and the AFC Championship in his tenure. And then you fired him, and now he's in New England, and New England is like 6-2 with a really good chance against Atlanta to be 7-2. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I don't understand it. Speaking of that New England Atlanta game, I'm actually gonna go. I think this one is a little underrated for me, of that New England Patriots Falcons. I believe it's at New England. Here's my thing. I kind of want this game to be close because I always feel bad for Atlanta every time they play New England for like obvious reasons, because everyone has to bring up to them the fact that they blew that lead, even though we all know they're very well aware of what happened in that game, and that is a constant reminder for the rest of someone's life that their team blew the biggest lead in Super Bowl history. But at the end of the day, I think this game could be close. Let me just get to, what was I saying? That players wanted to play for him, too. He's a players coach. For Brian Callahan, for Mike Vrabel, yeah. Mike Vrabel's clearly a players coach, like, because he's a former player, so it makes sense. Like, former players generally are much better, and I mean, like, former players. Like, I know Andy Reid, yeah, he was in that punt, pass, and kick competition. Everyone brings up that clip, but at the same time, it's like, you needed to actually play for you to, like, be able to relate to players. And, like, with Vrabel, it actually, like, he say something like he'd chop off his own nuts or his own penis to win this game. Like, it was just, he's got that player energy to him. Players respect him for it. Players want to play for Vrabel. Brian Callahan, like, never gave off, I don't know what vibe Callahan gave off, but it certainly wasn't, yeah, I really want to play for you. Like, it just wasn't. Not under any circumstances. That's why he's not there anymore. I do think Atlanta and New England can be underrated. And it's not necessarily because I think New England is bad. I think it's because Atlanta, for whatever reason, it's like, remember when they beat Buffalo? It was like, oh my God, they beat the Bills. Holy crap. And then, like, for some reason, Atlanta just shows up at really weird times. Like, sometimes they'll show up against Buffalo and win a huge game, and then completely no. Actually, hold on. Before I say this is underrated, is Michael Penix playing? Because I gotta be honest, I saw Kirk Cousins, and that was not okay. Optimistic to play. Okay, I'm gonna keep them in the underrated matchup category, presuming that Michael Penix plays. If it's Kirk Cousins, this is gonna be another tough watch. But if Michael Penix plays, I think there's opportunity that this game could, because again, like, they just lost to Miami. It's possible New England's like, oh, hold on, they lost to Miami. This team's not serious. And then, Atlanta does, Bijan maybe plays better, right? Because Bijan played poorly last week. Drake London should be available. Michael Penix. They were down a lot of players, and they're the one best player that they had that was available didn't play well. It could be interesting. I think Atlanta could keep it close. And I always feel like if you're the Falcons when you play the Patriots, don't you have to be a little pissed off about that game? Like, at least thinking about how pissed off that game makes you. Even if you weren't in it, like, it should still annoy you. It would annoy me. Like, there's always, like, certain teams or players or games that I think of that are associated with teams that just piss me off. This should 100% be one for Atlanta, and probably the one that should piss them off the most. Like, Patriots fans are always pissed off at Giants because of those 2 Super Bowl losses. I get pissed off looking at the Jags knowing that we lost to Blake Bortles. Jets pretty much get pissed at everybody because they lose to everybody. I'm sorry, that was me. But probably New England is up there on that list for them. Buffalo also New England. Miami would also be New England. Like, anybody in the AFC West hates the Chiefs. Like, or anybody in the AFC probably hates the Chiefs, but I don't know. I think it should be underrated. I think Bijan should play better. I think Atlanta should have at least somewhat of a chance. Moving along. Vikings-Lions, I think? Is that the one? Vikings-Lions, I think is, yeah. Minnesota at Detroit. Is it a great one? Probably. I think it's worth the watch just because the Lions' offense is really good and it's a rivalry game. But is J.J. McCarthy playing? Like, what's the status with J.J.? Let's find out. On returning... Oh, he is facing the Lions. Yeah, even then, though. Like, you're just... I don't know. I don't know what to feel about J.J. McCarthy. I don't know if he's legit. He's played 2 games, right? 1 game. He looked great for 1 quarter. Terrible for the other 7. Logic dictates that he's probably not good. But, and then you're playing against the Detroit Lions team that's coming off a bye week. Good luck. Like, I think this could end up being another tough to watch one. But I think it's worth to watch just to see what McCarthy looks like. But at the end of the day, I don't know. If McCarthy doesn't play well, again, then if you're Minnesota, you're like, wait a second. Like, I'm surprised Minnesota wasn't a team that maybe made a call for a quarterback. Like, I get Carson Wentz, but if you knew Carson Wentz had a shoulder injury, then why not make the consideration, right? Now Carson Wentz needs shoulder surgery, and he's definitely not going to be the same guy again. He was struggling to begin with, but in vain, too. In so much pain. Imagine, like, playing through shoulder surgery, trying to get your team a win, and still losing by, like, 3 or 4 scores. It's just... I feel for him, because I really want him to be great, I was thinking, dang, Carson Wentz is going to be, like, a Hall of Famer after, like, his 2nd season, and then was never that great again after that ACL out there, so... I think Detroit probably wins that one. Oh, I've kind of not been saying who I think wins. Well, I mean, I guess kind of obvious. New England's probably going to beat Atlanta, despite Atlanta maybe getting an upset win. I think Detroit should beat the crap out of Minnesota. Mid-off. Let's cover the mid-off category, because there is definitely a game on here that I had the inclination. Yeah, it's Bengals-Bears. First of all, I've never... If you look at, like, all the teams alphabetically, these 2 are, like, the first 2, because of how many times I've played Madden, and it plays all the teams at once. So it's Bears and Bengals. It's always, like, the 1 and the 2, because it's just alphabetical-wise. Secondly, I think both these teams are very average. I think they are exciting, but I think they are average. I think the Caleb Williams Bears are, like, fine offensively. But if you have Ben Johnson as your head coach, you're like, you need to be better than just fine. You need to be a little bit better than that. And if you're Cincinnati, like, now there's question marks. Is Joe Flacco going to play? And if Flacco doesn't play, that's massively concerning. This game would 100% becomes a bit off if Flacco doesn't play. Plus, their defense is atrocious. Like, they just lost to the Jets. And Chicago just lost to the Ravens without Lamar Jackson. Like, this is a mid-off. This is the definition of it. Two mediocre teams that wear orange. Teams are not making deep runs in the playoffs. Like, it just is what it is. It's an average down the middle game. Mid. Definitively and indubitably. Got little else to say. I like what Ben Johnson's doing in Chicago, but I think for Caleb Williams being a number 1 overall pick, and considering, like, unlike guys like Bryce Young, he doesn't really have like a height disadvantage. Like, I don't know, man. I understand Chicago, like, it's never had a 4,000-yard passer. If he does that, then he's there for life. But, I mean, Ben Johnson's got to make sure that Caleb can start being great, because average is not enough, especially in this division with Green Bay and Detroit. Need Caleb Williams to play better for the Bears. Oh, Steelers host Colts. Oh, Steelers host Colts. I can't believe we have to. Okay, let me say this. I think, first off, I think this matchup is going to be underrated. I understand the Colts are 7-1. I understand that. I understand the Steelers defense sucks. I understand that too. But I will say that Mike Tomlin does this thing. And this is the thing right now. That no matter, like, I want to let you know right now, as a Steelers fan, regardless of the outcome of this game, I'm going to be angry. I'm going to be angry. Number 1, if we lose and we get blown out, of course I'm going to be pissed. If we lose close and we lose because of some BS, I'm going to be pissed then. If we win this game, no matter how we win it, I'm going to be mad because I'm going to be like Mike Tomlin. How on earth did you drop back-to-back games against Joe Flacco and that awful Bengals defense, and then you were up 19-7 at halftime on the Packers and got belt to ass in the second half, and then somehow you're going to beat the Colts at home? If he does that, I'm going to flip my lid. I have a lid right somewhere upstairs. I'm going to flip it. I don't understand it. It's just such a... The Mike Tomlin Pittsburgh Steelers experience is one of the most bizarre, painful, like it's... You know what it is? It's cruel and unusual punishment. That's what it is. It's cruel and unusual. Please stop. It's just absurd. And I'm sorry, it just is. The Colts, and by the way, if we're able to get this win and our defense is somehow going to show up against literally the most efficient offense of this century, I mean, I'll be like happy for like 2 seconds until I'm like, where was this like the last 2 weeks? I think it could be underrated just because I think Pittsburgh could play it close. It's either Pittsburgh plays it close and wins, or Pittsburgh doesn't show up at all and gets belt to ass. That's what's going to happen. Credit to Jonathan Taylor, though. I think he's going to be like the offensive player of the year. I think he should be. I mean, I don't know. I thought he was kind of like, just kind of going to be like a decent underrated running back for the rest of his career. No, now he's just amazing. Well, it's so good for him. I'm going to say like, good job, Johnny. Do you like? I wonder if Jonathan Taylor likes being called Johnny. They call him John, Joe, Johnny, Jonathan, Joni. We'll work on it. Let's get into some of these these other matchups. Holy crap! I'm dying, guys. I'm dying. I'm gonna be taking a NyQuil. I'm gonna be gargling some water. What can happen? Texans, Broncos. You want me to give me my hot take? I honestly think, and the only reason I'm saying this, I think it's going to be a great game because Houston's at home. Denver obviously beat up on the Cowboys, but I think Houston's a little bit better than what people think. They started 0-3. They're starting to get some things work together. I think if they can put together somewhat of a rushing game against the Broncos, keep Bo Nix and Bo Nix and Sean Payton off the field, then I feel like there's a chance there that Houston could pull an upset. I mean, they just beat San Francisco at home, and I don't think San Francisco's an awful team. So I'd like to see what they do against Denver. Clearly, Denver is very good. They could go in and blow them out, but Denver's kind of been on a hot streak. I went down to Houston, brings them down to earth a little bit. C.J. Stroud plays better. Maybe. We'll see. It's just, I don't know. It's a little confusing. The other one that I actually think is going to be a good game, despite the fact that they have struggled to start this year, Seattle and Washington, I think, is going to be I think the whole Commanders are at home, right? They should be, yeah. Commanders are going to be at home. This is kind of like desperation mode for them, because after losing to Kansas City, now you got to host Seattle, who's been good this year, whose defense has been underrated. Sam Darnold's played well. And they're coming off a bye week. If you're Dan Quinn and you want to have any shot of preserving the season, this is a game everybody's got to show up. Jaden Daniels has to show up. The run game has to show up. The defense has to show up. I mean, you're running out of time. At a certain point, you're kind of running out of time with the way the NFC looks. So right now, the NFC, you've got 3 teams in the West that are all very good. Tampa's dominating the South. Green Bay and Detroit, right? So you kind of already have an idea of what you're looking like in terms of playoff teams. Like, in fact, let me pull that up real quick. See what we're looking like in terms of... So, like, the standings right now. Can I get... That's not how I want it to look, but that's fine. So, like, again, you're 3-5. You lose this game, you fall to 3-6, right? Dallas is ahead of you in standings. Chicago, Detroit, Green Bay, Tampa... Carolina's ahead of you. Atlanta's got a slightly better record. Seattle, LA, San Fran. You're running out of time. And only 7 teams get into the playoffs on the NFC side. You're running out of time to make a decision. You're probably not winning this division based on what Philadelphia looks like. Commanders need to go. They need to make a decision right now. And right now, just if you had to tell me right now if they're making the playoffs, I'm going to tell you, hell no. They don't look like a playoff team. They just got completely whooped by the Kansas City Chiefs, who are very good. I'll give you that. But did you watch that game and think Kansas City played amazing? Not really. You thought they played okay, enough to win, and they won by 3 touchdowns. Like, you got to be better than this if you're the Washington Commanders, and it just feels like sort of like a one-hit wonder, kind of caught like a lightning in a bottle, so to speak, and went from there. But that lightning seems to have eviscerated. They're 3-5. They have a very real chance of being 3-6 and losing to Seattle at home. So this is 100%. They have to win this game, and that's why I think it'll be good, because it's a must-win for the Commanders. We'll see what ends up happening. But of course, the headliner of the week is obvious. It's the headliner every time, really. Anytime the Bills and the Chiefs are going to be playing, it is the headliner. It just is. It is the matchup of the week. It is, will Josh Allen be able to beat Mahomes? Especially in the playoffs, it's obviously the headliner, but for this, it's another Allen-Mahomes matchup. I want to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Allen is close, or at least 50-50 with Mahomes now in the regular season. I believe that is true. I will do my math, because that's probably a stat they collected. Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes. Let's see what StatHead has to say. Yeah, Josh Allen is 4-1 against Mahomes in the regular season, and yet, 0-4 against him in the playoffs. Like, that's crazy, man. I mean, really, honestly, think about that. He's beaten him. He's only lost to him once in regular season play. And Mahomes is won every time in the postseason 4-0. So, like, even if Josh wins this matchup, it doesn't change much, right? Like, that's what's so interesting is that, yes, obviously it's going to be a great game. It's going to be incredibly exciting. But at the same time, it's like, what really changes? What changes for Josh Allen and the Bills? Like, this game, sure, obviously it matters because you want to win. You want to try to catch up to New England in the standings, but I got to be honest. With you. This ain't okay. This is not a game that is the most important. Like, you're looking to get by him in the playoffs. And now you've got an issue of, oh, hey, there's another pretty good guy in your division called Drake May. So now you've got another problem. Buffalo, I got to tell you right now, that window is small. The window is open, but it is smaller than you think it is. You got to start You got to start, to me, you got to start being a little bit more aggressive in free agency. I think that's what needs to happen, right? Because that would be my case. Because I don't think Buffalo, like their biggest free agency move which was getting Stephon Diggs. That was a huge turning point in the way Buffalo Bills were playing football and the way they were perceived as contenders. I think they need to make, if they don't win the Super Bowl this year, or at least get into the big game, and even whether they do or don't, or even if they win, I think if you want to either win a championship or extend your championship window or win another one or whatever it is, you need to be aggressive in free agency. You need to find the best free agent. I don't care if you are good at that position. I don't care if it's like a running back and you pay for him and pay them both alongside James Cook. I don't care. You need to be paying. You need to be spending money. I think it's the reality. I think if you are going to win championships, I understand there have been big free agent flops before, and it happens, but you got to go out and pay guys, especially like young guys. Because like I know they paid Von Miller, older guy. Probably shouldn't have given him all that money at that age, especially for a guy who had multiple surgeries, right? But if you're looking at somebody that you need to improve your team, there's a wide receiver out there. Do it. Like let me do this. NFL. Like 2026 NFL free agents. Okay, ready? Let me see what we're looking at. Come on, buddy. Load. Like you know who I'd look right at? George Pickens. Sounds crazy, but listen, I'd consider it. Maybe 2 years, give him a bag for 2 or 3 years, make his contract very movable. Listen, if you're Buffalo, you can't just sit here and be like, that's all we got, right? Linderbaum? Oh, I thought Linderbaum were to get paid. Who actually is a free agent? Because I know some of these guys have gotten paid. I don't know why this one's taking forever to load. Let me look it up on my phone. That might be easier, and then I will let y'all go, and I will let myself go. Not like go, but like you know what I mean. 2026 NFL free agents. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Load the dang thing. They're all old, sadly. Yeah, they are all kind of old. Yeesh. Yeah, they might all be just old heads. There may not be a great guy that's available. But I mean, my point is that you can't be sitting here. Can I sort by age? That'd actually be sick, but it probably won't let me do that. My point is this, Buffalo. If you wanna win a championship, you wanna go after the Chiefs. You got to be a little bit more aggressive than they are. You got to go out and make moves. You got to make money moves. You got to make free agency trades. It's just unacceptable to be in the position that you are now and not be willing to spend money to improve your roster. I understand you pay a lot of money to Josh Allen. There's got to be money somewhere to improve the roster. That is my take on that. And as of right now, oh, that's not it. Boom! This is the list of all the games for week number 9. Next week we'll be in the double-digit weeks. I will be here Sunday. Oh my God. I will be here Sunday for the pregame show. I'm hoping that we can do that. We can watch pregame some of the games, talk some little fantasy football beforehand. Probably starting that around 11. Maybe some early game bets, hopefully. Hopefully we can get in and do all that. At the current juncture, I've got nothing else for you. So thank you for tuning in for another episode of Prime Time with Taff. Well, I guess free refill on Prime Time with Taff and Phil. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you have the bell on, make sure you press all of those buttons. Spam them. Just spam a bunch of them. Just to let YouTube know, like, oh my God, they clicked it so many times. Like, clearly crazy good. Hold on, Jay's got a comment. How about Mercedes Lewis getting signed? Makes me want to get a free agent. I'd be guaranteed to make the Jets or Titans. You probably make the Saints too. Honestly, you could probably make all 3. I could listen. I'm gonna be warming up my kicking this offseason. I'm gonna get incredibly into the gym. I'm gonna be practicing my kicking techniques. I'm gonna see if I can get signed. Cause seriously, these guys aren't making kicks. I'm gonna get my technique down. I'm gonna stretch out my hammies. I'm gonna be ready to make some kicks in the NFL. I'm gonna find a way. Actually, you know what? That'd be a crazy challenge. I'll be. You know what? I'll be my challenge. See if I can get signed as an NFL kicker. At the very least, to a practice squad. And we'll see. We'll see how far it goes. But I have to be like 24/7 perfecting my craft. So I will look into potentially doing that. Or maybe a punter. I don't know which one's easier. We'd have to look into it, but anyways, that's all I have. Thank you guys for watching. As I said before, do all the like, do all the shares, do all the good things. And you know, maybe I'll have something posted after like the Ravens Dolphins game. Maybe like a meme on Instagram or something. I don't know. I'll think of something for sure. But at the moment, I am signing off. This has been Phil. This has been your free refill with Phil White. Free refill with Philip White. Take care. Enjoy this weekend, and we will see you.